Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. We're talking about, do you need to count calories to lose weight? The quick answer is no, you don't. But I'm going to have to tell you what you need to do instead if you're not going to count calories. But before I get to that, I think I just want to remind you that when it comes to weight loss and eventually weight mastery, which should be the goal here, you don't have to do anything that you hate doing. So if you absolutely hate counting calories, which a lot of people do because it's kind of tedious and boring for a lot of people, then you don't have to do it. Okay. You need to build your weight mastery, your weight loss around strategies and tactics that work for you. And so again, if you love counting calories, knock yourself out, right? Do it. But if you don't have to do it. So I will say just right off the bat, if you want to count calories, it's good to, so even if you don't want to do it, I do suggest doing it for a week or so, just to kind of calibrate where you're at, right? There's a lot of times people think they're not consuming very many calories when they actually are. So taking a week to just kind of like get a sense of where you're at, right? Actually track them and say, oh, was I accurate? Was I low? Was I high? Where am I at? I think that's really valuable. But you do not need to count calories. So what do you do instead, right? Again, what we need to do to create weight loss is we need to create a caloric deficit, right? But there's different ways to do this. And so counting calories is a very, it's very, very specific and very, you have to be a certain type of person. It takes a lot of energy to do that. So what's the alternative way to reduce calories consistently? The alternative that I think is a bit more intuitive and easier, and certainly it's the path I chose because I don't like count calories, is to start to look at your habits. Okay. A lot of times people don't really, almost any diet, even regardless of counting calories, going to get rid of carbs, stop sugar, whatever the strategy is going to be. Most people approach weight loss with a very consciously oriented approach, meaning they're going to try and very intentionally, mindfully control all their eating decisions they're going to make. And I think if you approach it this way, you're going to burn yourself out. It's estimated we make over 200 food decisions a day. And so most of those decisions are happening on autopilot. And so if all of a sudden you're going to try and consciously take over all those decisions, again, you're going to feel overwhelmed most likely. So an easier way to cut the calories down that works, it doesn't make you feel overwhelmed, is to start to look at your eating as patterns. If you take a step back and look at a typical week of eating for you, you're probably going to start to notice consistent patterns that you eat at the same times, breakfast, lunch, dinner, typically. You eat the same types of things for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Very rarely have I seen a person who's eating something totally different every breakfast, totally different every lunch, a different time of day they're eating dinner. It just doesn't happen that way. We basically do what we did. That's how our subconscious mind works. It's very pattern oriented. And so once you start to recognize the patterns of eating that you have, you can start off by saying, what is my worst eating habit? What's the worst eating habit that's showing up multiple times a week? For a lot of people, this is snacking at night, overeating at dinner, snacking during the afternoon, something like that. And what we want to do is we want to start to focus on that habit, right? Because this is another way you can lose weight that's a lot more manageable. It's not so overwhelming to you consciously. And so let's just say it's snacking at night. Instead of trying to change all of your eating all at once, trying to track all of your calories all day long, instead, we really focus on the eating in the evening. And you start to understand it. You start to come up with different strategies to reduce the calories in the evening. It doesn't have to be just stop eating at night necessarily either. It could be, reducing how much you eat, replacing what you're eating with lower calorie options. You have choices, okay? And the more choices, again, not too many choices, but you have some options. Again, going back to what I was originally saying, pick the tactics and the plans and the strategies that resonate with you. Okay. When we have some options, we can figure out what works best for me. But when you focus on the habit, so instead of feeling like, oh, I got to change I got to stop eating at night every night of the week, that feels overwhelming. But we start to realize that's one habit. If I could change this one habit, if I could reduce the calories I'm consuming at night for the next year and beyond, what do I think would happen to my weight? And I want you to start thinking that way. You see, again, the diets get us into, we have to try and change everything all at once because we have to get the fastest results. But if you kind of slow down and you be more patient with it, you can start to take more strategic and systematic approach to your weight loss, which God forbid, right? Whoever approaches their weight loss with strategic, systematic thinking, yet it's not. It's just this all or nothing. I'm going to change everything all at once. Well, you don't have to do that. And so if you start to strategically start with your worst eating habit, start to understand it, come up with strategies to help you reduce the calories during that time, and then implement them to a place where they're comfortable and easy for you to keep up. Now you've changed your weight for good. Okay. And it wasn't this, all of a sudden you're tracking every single calorie put in your body. right? Which is very overwhelming for most people. And so this is the approach. It's a much more intuitive approach. It's much more comfortable for most people because you're not trying to micromanage every little thing you're putting in your mouth, and it can work a lot better. So again, you do not need to count your calories to lose weight. I sit before you as someone who has not counted my calories consistently. Again, I have calibrated them to see where I'm at occasionally, but I've never counted the calories, and most of my clients have never counted them either, and they've successfully lost weight and kept it off. But again, not only do you not need to count calories, but you don't need to do anything that you hate doing to lose weight. And I suggest that you don't go down the path of trying to do things you hate to lose weight, because it's usually not going to last. All right. So give this some thought and start to go to work on reducing and removing your worst habit. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll give them a shot here. A beautiful Friday afternoon. Or it's a day and a time when most people are not thinking about weight loss, but sometimes that's the most fun time to think about it. I always joke that Program Yourself Thin is probably the only weight loss program on the planet that you would ever start on a Friday. Right? Not a day most people are thinking about it. But why do I say that? Because my program, you're not starting immediately with some crazy meal plan. You start off tomorrow, you listen to a 5-minute hypnosis session in the morning and a 10-minute session at night. So again, when I talk about how are you going to lose the weight is as important as how much weight you're going to lose, and people don't tend to look at it this way. They really just focus so much on the outcome of I'll do anything to lose the weight. But that approach is literally the thing that usually keeps you stuck, because again, we can force ourselves to do pretty extreme things for a little while, but it is very difficult to keep that up. It's very difficult to maintain things that are really unpleasant and that are hard, long term, and so it doesn't have to be that way. But we're constantly fed that message by diets, and so it's easy to get trapped in that way of thinking. So that's really one of my main reasons for getting on these lives, for putting all this stuff out on TikTok and podcasts and all the rest of it, is really just to help you understand that there's a better way. There's a better way to take control of your weight. And it's not a diet and it's not pretty much in any way that you've been thinking about. It's more of a zooming out process and realizing the way that you've been thinking about weight loss is the number one reason you're struggling, And so what you need to do to change the results you're getting is really to start thinking about weight loss differently. So again, to summarize, it's a mindset-based approach. And instead of just kind of going into another diet, this time I'm going to try keto, this time I'm going to try intermittent fasting, this time I'm going to try this, taking a step back and say, wait a second, what's even my goal here? Because your goal is to lose weight as fast as possible. I know that's your goal. I know you say that all the time, but honestly, your goal is really not to lose weight. It's to get back to your goal weight and live there the rest of your life on near autopilot. That's a different goal. It's a much more accurate and specific goal that you want. And it's very important because your subconscious mind, which is running your weight, is very literal, So if you keep talking about losing weight, you might lose it, but you're probably going to put it back on. And if you focus on living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot, you orient your brain to figuring that out. Leslie says it takes so much brain energy. It does take a lot of brain energy. So to drive this point home, I love this example because I think most people miss this part of the process. Really, people are approaching weight loss like they're missing information, right? Like they need some nutritional, what do I have to stop eating? Tell me what I got to do. Give me another diet. Oh, I got to stop eating for 16 hours. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, I got to, stop eating carbs. Okay, I'll just do that, and it's like, that's not the problem. The problem is you got to transform yourself into a different version of yourself inside out. Okay. And so here's the example I talk about is that you're thinking weight loss is hard because it's hard to stop eating the food you love. But that is a part of it. But the bigger part of why weight loss is hard is because you're changing up your automated behaviors. Okay. So to put it metaphorically, weight loss is like, imagine tomorrow morning you woke up and you're like, you know what? Today I'm going to brush my teeth with my other hand. I'm going to use my computer mouse with my other hand, and I'm going to use my phone with my other hand, And it's like, well, it sounds simple until you go to do it and you go brush your teeth with the other hand. And it's like, you got to really think about it. You can do it, but it takes so much thought, because usually you just do it on autopilot. Most of the things you do in life are on autopilot. And so now once you start to try and do it intentionally, it's hard. It takes so much brain energy, like you said, Leslie, and you get fucking irritated. You get annoyed because your brain, the main organizing principle of your brain is to conserve energy. And so as soon as you start to try and consciously do things that are subconscious in nature, it doesn't feel good. And this is what a diet is. This is literally what a diet is, right? It's you consciously with your willpower trying to fight against your subconscious cravings, impulses, habits, behaviors, thought patterns, right? And you can do it for a couple days or a couple weeks. And then what happens? What do? What happens? You revert back to what you always did. You revert back to your automated behaviors, thoughts, all the rest of it. And so again, programming yourself then is an inside out approach where we're using the willpower to reprogram your subconscious mind so that the automatic things you do keep you at your goal weight. Right? I hope this sounds profound to you. This is another day of my life, but it's like, because how do you explain it? How do you explain? What's your explanation for people? Estimated 95% of people that lose weight on a diet put it back on. What's going on? Right? It's not their genetics. Right? It's not their willpower. They did it. They made it happen. It's not their knowledge, not their information. They made it happen. They lost the weight. So why they put it back on? How do you explain that? You probably lost weight and put it back on. What happened? You could lose the weight. And I think it's this reason. I think you basically got two mindsets. You got an overweight mindset and you have a diet mindset. And you just keep flip-flopping between them. Never, ever do you ever work on creating a thin and healthy mindset. So you are just a thin and healthy person naturally and automatically. You never focus on that. You never work on that. You never develop that. I don't know. Do you think it's important? I don't know. You know what I mean? I think it's important, but do you? I don't know. I think it's really important. Crafty Graham, what's up? How's it going? Grateful that I do think exactly what you say. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And again, listen, where all this comes from, where Program Yourself originally came from, was studying people that successfully lost weight and kept it off for at least 2 years. Hey, what are you guys doing? And not just what are you eating and how you're exercising. What are you thinking? What was the shift? What were the shifts that happened inside your head that allowed you to make this seemingly permanent shift in how you think and how you behave and how you live your life and how you eat? No one's talking about this, right? It's just every diet. I love this, right? Because once you see this, you can't unsee it. But every single diet, every single workout program, every single nutritionist, every single doctor, what do they all got in common? Because what they all have in common is the reason why you're struggling to lose the weight. It's that they're just telling you what to do. You're constantly being told what to do, the best plan, the best thing you could ever do. This is what you want to do if you want to lose weight the fastest, But no one's ever helping you or showing you how to get yourself to do it. And so you got one tool, willpower. One tool and one tool only, willpower, to try and force yourself to follow. Oh, no sugar today. I'm not going to eat for 16 hours. No more carbs, And you try and force yourself to follow that plan. And again, it lasts for a couple days, a couple weeks. Then you go back to what you always do, So the missing piece of your puzzle is that you literally trying to lose weight for decades, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You have never once, not in any program, learned any practical strategies for changing how you think, how you feel, how you behave. And you just keep cycling through the same process over and over and over. You get upset about your weight, and you step on the scale, you see the picture of yourself, you see the clothes don't fit that you said, you catch a reflection, you get all upset, you're really upset. That's it, I'm going to do it. You jump into your plan, right? The one you've tried 50 times. That's it. Tomorrow I'm going to do it. With all this pain, emotion, right? You're just in so much pain, all emotional. I'm going to do it. That's it. I'm going to lose weight this time. I'm going to do the plan tomorrow. You do it for a couple days, a couple weeks, go back to what you did until you get upset again. And you do it for a couple days, a couple weeks, back. I mean, it's over and over, right? So what's going to change? That's the question. What's the question? You know what I mean? What's the answer though? What's going to change for you? What's it going to be? Another diet? Oh, just eat grapefruits. Stop eating citrus. The citrus is the problem. Oh, I mean, we're at the point now where we got people saying, don't eat vegetables and fruit. Vegetable and fruit's the problem. Just eat meat, right? That's where we're at, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else is left. It sells because we've been conditioned. You know what I mean? Again, you got to understand, when you think about weight loss, you think of a diet. You can't even separate diets from weight loss, and the diets have infected your thinking. You can't even think about weight loss without thinking about a diet. And the diets you're referencing are all diets that are owned by food companies. Weight Watchers is owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company as Onions, Pretzels, and Cinnabon. The company owns Slim Fast, the same company owns Ben & Jerry's ice cream. These companies don't want you to lose weight. They want to get you coming and going. They want to condition, they want to get you to pay for their food. They want you to get you to pay for their diet. And then while you pay for the diet, they're infecting you with shitty thoughts and strategies. You got no strategy here. You've got tactics. What, don't you see this? Every diet's one thing because they know you're overwhelmed and stressed and depressed about your weight. So they're like, okay, we got it. This diet, we've got to make it seem as simple as possible. Oh, just stop eating carbs. Just stop eating for 16 hours. Just eat meat. Just eat vegetables. Just count your points. Just eat Mediterranean food. It's always the one thing. I can promise you one thing. If you get nothing else out of what I'm saying, please hear this. I guarantee you, to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot, you're going to need more than one little tactic. You know what I mean? You need a comprehensive, holistic approach to mastering your weight. That's why in Program Yourself In, there's the weight mastery pyramid. There's 3 levels to it: mindset, lifestyle, eating. You can't just change your eating. What are you going to do? You're just going to change your eating tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday, so I'm going to change my eating so it's going to be perfect until I lose the weight. What the fuck? How is that possible? Like, you know what? I'll give you a pass the first time you believe that could work. Okay. But how many times have you tried that? How many times you tried just changing all your eating 100% on a Monday until I get to my goal weight? And then you make one mistake, feels catastrophic, and now you're back off track. You know, come on, man. You got to wake up. I know you want to lose the weight. I know you think about it 24 hours a day. And I know you're not getting the results you want. And I know you're frustrated because the only way you can think about weight loss is through diets. You know, so you say that the magic phrase that makes you feel more powerless than anything else, which is, I've tried everything to lose weight and nothing works. And I am here to tell you, you have not tried everything. You have not tried a mindset approach. I know it for a fact because I know there's no mindset approaches out there. Because you know what? And it's a buzzword now. Lifestyle mindset's a buzzword. But you know what they mean by mindset? Come on, you got to get your mindset right. You need more willpower. Just do it. It's just they're using mindset as a sneaky word to just say you need more willpower. No, you don't. You're not going to do it with willpower. You know what your willpower is, by the way? And even hear what I'm saying, because you don't even understand how your brain works. And so if I explain to you willpower, you'll realize, oh shit, I never understood what willpower really was. And here I am 30, 40 years into fucking dieting. I don't even know what willpower is, which is to say you don't even have any strategy. You don't really have any nuts and bolts understanding. You have no granular understanding of what's controlling your weight. You're just winging it. Oh, here comes Monday. We'll start. No sugar tomorrow. Okay. What's your willpower? Do you know? Most people think of willpower intuitively as like this non-physical force. It's just never ending. You know, it's not. It's your prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is about 10% of your brain anatomically. It's the part of your brain that's logical, rational, knows you should lose weight, knows why you should lose weight, knows what you should do to lose weight, tries to get you to do it. That's your willpower. What about the rest of your brain, though? Let's just say that's your subconscious mind. This is the part of your brain that runs all your habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Why do you struggle to lose weight, right? You want to lose weight more than anything in the world. So you start your plan. Where do the cravings come from? Where is the part that compels you when you want to lose weight and you start the diet? Where do these cravings come from? If you want to lose weight, why do all of a sudden I want to eat cookies? What's going on here? Right? No, I got physical addiction. I don't know. I'm addicted to cookies, addicted to sugar. Well, that's a little bit true, you know, but it's primarily a psychological thing. You're subconsciously programmed to eat cookies at 3 p.m. You're subconsciously, it's programmed to overeat at dinner, to eat ice cream at night when you sit on the sofa and watch TV. And these programs run automatically, just like your toothbrushing runs automatically. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You just do it at the same times every day. It just runs on autopilot, you know? And so what you're trying to do to lose weight is you're trying to consciously keep fighting against your subconscious mind. And it's not a good battle. Your subconscious mind is infinitely more effective and efficient with energy. Your subconscious mind stores every behavior that you've learned is stored in your subconscious mind, and you just do it automatically, right? You just learn to ride a bike. Don't ride a bike for 100 years. Get on the bike. You can ride a bike. What? You know, that's a different, right? That's different than if I tell you, a bunch of facts today. You ain't going to remember those tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like there's different forms of learning, and your behaviors are stored in your subconscious mind and run on autopilot. So you start a diet. Everything's going great until 8 o'clock comes around. You sit on the sofa and your subconscious mind say, hey, let's get the ice cream. Time for the ice cream. No, we're on a diet. We're on a diet. No, not today. Oh, yeah. A minute later. Hey, where's the ice cream? Where's the cookies? No, we're on a diet. Remember? 30 seconds later. Where's the cookies? Oh, we're on a diet. Where's the cookies? Oh, fuck. Would you shut up? Oh, where's the chips then? No. Right? Does it not feel like that? Do you not feel like you're fighting against yourself to try and lose weight? Right? Because you are. Thanks, Shannon. It doesn't have to be that way, right? What's the alternative? The alternative is use your conscious mind to reprogram your subconscious mind, install new behaviors, new thought patterns. You know, Leslie says willpower is so temporary. It is temporary because you have to think your willpower it's like a muscle. There's only a finite amount of it. This is why I said, you want to see how fast your willpower lasts? I'll challenge you, right? Tomorrow morning, for real, do everything with your other hand for the first 2 hours of the day. Phone, computer, mouse, brushing your teeth, anything you do it with the other hand for 2 hours. Let me know how your eating goes the rest of the day. They've done studies on it. I didn't come up with this shit. There's this stuff's all scientific. This stuff's known. You're never being taught it because you know how much money's made off of you being overweight, unhealthy, and unhappy? It's like the whole economy. It's all the food companies. It's all the diet companies, which is a $65 billion industry. Food, I don't even know. I mean, food's going to be obviously the junk food, processed food industry. I mean, what is it? Trillions of dollars? I don't know. What's bigger than that industry? So it's the food industry. It's the diet industry. It's the medical industry. And again, I'm not saying these doctors have anything bad intentions. I don't think that. But let's be honest, it's a medical industry that's built around treating symptoms. Has your doctor ever told you anything helpful about how to change your weight? They may tell you might want to lose some weight. That's about as much as you're going to get from them, right? So where are you learning how to lose weight? Where? What are you referencing? I know what I got to do, Jim. I just got to do it. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Have you ever taken a step back and thought, what the fuck does that mean? I know what I got to do. I just got to do it. Huh? Has that ever worked? I don't even know what that means. Don't you think you might have to learn how to get yourself to do it? I don't know. Why when I don't, what's this question? Why when I don't eat anything, I don't lose weight, but when I eat very little, I actually lose weight? Well, first off, I would say probably when people say I stopped eating or I lowered my calorie, went on a diet and I didn't lose any weight, well, how long? Well, it was a week. It was 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I know this is going to freak you out because listen, here's the deal, folks. You've been infected to think like a dieter. I mean, think about it. How many ads have we all been exposed to? Diet ads in our lives? What do we think? Millions? Right? I mean, think about it. From the day you were born, we've all now in our lives, diet's been around and we've just been exposed to millions of them. I think, I don't get it. Is that number right? I don't know. But however many diet ads you've seen in your life, it's always the before and after picture and how long it takes. And so dieting and weight loss in your mind is thought of it's like a sprint, right? You think of dieting as a temporary thing. I'm going to do this until I lose the weight. And because it's temporary, I'm going to do it as fast as possible. Give me the plan. I don't give a shit what I got to do. Just tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. Just drink water. Fine. Whatever, and, it messes you up. The way you think about literally the framing of how you think about weight loss is completely, that's the problem. It's not your willpower. It's not that you can't control your eating. It's not these things. The very core of the problem is that the way you think about weight loss, you think about it as this temporary thing. It's like a sprint. If you run a sprint and you trip a little bit, you lost the race, right? Only perfection wins a sprint. And that's how you go into every weight loss attempt you make. And then, so think about this. Again, this is your opportunity to take a step back from how you think about weight loss, because you never do this. You're just caught up in it. You're on autopilot. You do the same thing every time you try and lose weight. Okay. And you might do different diets, but it's the same thing. Okay. It's you trying to force yourself to do what? Because how does the diet work? Well, it's always a Monday, right? So Monday comes and what are you going to do? Think about this from this other angle. You are going to 100% change your eating. I'm going to eat completely different starting tomorrow. And I'm going to eat completely different perfectly until I lose the weight. And then on top of that, maybe you add some exercise too. I'm going to 100% change my eating perfectly. I'm not going to screw up I'm not going to eat more than 1,200 calories. I'm not going to eat any sugar. I'm not going to eat any carbs. I'm not going to go over my points at all. I'm going to 100% change how I eat, how I live, how I think until I lose the weight. So for the next months. It's so crazy to think about it that way. So if you make a mistake, it feels catastrophic. There's no room for mistake, right? Because you're all or nothing. All or nothing. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it perfectly. Right? So again, you get these two mindsets. All or nothing. All is the diet mindset. Nothing's your overweight mindset. And you just keep flipping, flopping back and forth between them. Nothing ever changes. Overweight mindset, diet mindset, overweight mindset, diet mindset, overweight mindset, diet. Nothing ever changes. So what's the alternative? Well, you start to develop a thin and healthy mindset. Oh, Jim, I don't know how to think like a thin and healthy person. Yeah, I know that. That's the fucking problem. So what would you do? Let's put it in a different frame, because you're living this crazy world. I'm not blaming you for this. Okay, folks, I want you to understand it's not your fault. You've been conditioned by diets. I mean, there's so much money behind it. There's so much conditioning, so much bullshit. But think about this idea, the idea that you're going to wake up some fucking magic Monday and just be a totally different version of yourself. You're just magically going to eat totally different until you lose the weight. Like, how many times has that happened for you? And plus, even if you do succeed with that, what happens is you're trading the pleasure of the food for the pleasure of the scale going down. And at some point, the scale stops going down. And guess what? The pleasure of the scale disappears. Now you got no fucking pleasure. Why do you think people put the weight back on? Oh, I'll figure it out when I get there, Jim. Because nothing gets a diet or matter than when they're losing weight. So what are you going to do to get your goal weight? I don't want to think about that. I'll figure that out when I get there. Will you? Will you? Because 95% of people don't. You've lost weight in the past. Did you figure it out when you got to your goal weight? Or did you freak out because now you're like, oh, fuck, overweight mindset, diet mindset, I can't be either of those. I don't know what to do. Oh, this is ringing some bells, because it's like, does this not explain things? You never, ever work on creating a thin and healthy mindset. You have to think of your weight loss less like this idea, like, okay, tomorrow's a day, no pain, no gain, we're going to do it and just do it. No, you have to look at this as like learning a skill. Like it's way more like if you want to learn to play like a musical instrument, right? You never play the piano. I don't play the piano, right? The equivalent of like what you're doing with the diet. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to play the piano, so I'm going to start playing 10 hours a day. Okay. Let me know how you're doing after the first day. let me see you the morning, the second day, your fingers all cramped up, right? You hate the piano now. That's what you're doing metaphorically with a diet. You're way overwhelming yourself. And that's just the message you're constantly given. So if you want to learn the piano, what would you do? Well, if you're really serious, you would start to create a systematic and strategic approach to practicing and getting better at the things that make you better at playing the piano. Right? Wouldn't that make more sense with your weight? Right? To systematically and strategically create a thin, healthy mindset, to have a process you could rely on where you're not going to believe what I'm going to say. You're never going to believe what I'm about to say when it comes to weight loss. But imagine if you had a process you could rely on that you could use when you made a mistake so that you could learn from that mistake, get smarter, get more strategic, and then get back on track quickly because you learn from that mistake and you get right back on track. You don't have that. You know what I mean? It's all or nothing. Do it or not, can do it. Yeah. How's my foot? Hey, Karen. My foot's, I don't know. I was feeling so good. I got the x-ray again and it's still broken. I'm like, just as broke as it ever was. But it's getting better. It's getting better. But hopefully, it sucks. I would say the foot thing is like, it's just ongoing, some things just kind of wear on you. I would say that's the foot, to be honest. Cat Parker, what does using your opposite hand for 2 hours do again? What it does is it's something. It's not just that. I mean, it's anything that you do automatically. If you change it up, you go back to, you take for granted, right? Like it's like reading and writing, right? I mean, you spent years learning how to write, write a line, little circles, and putting all those shapes together so you look like letters and then words and then sentences and then paragraphs, right? And you take that all for granted now, right? Because you just write, boop, 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 boop. But writing's a great example too, because like you think that information equals behavior. You think, oh, I got a new diet. This one here, you don't eat for 16 hours. Oh, wow, amazing. Yeah, what the fuck? That doesn't mean anything. Because let me talk. Let me see you tomorrow on hour 9, 10. But that's the game, right? So you know everything there is to know about how to write. First of all, can you write with the other hand? Why not? You know how to write. Why can't you write with the other hand? See, you're mistaking information and behavior. This is why you're struggling so much with the weight loss. You think, and you're so mean to yourself because you know what you're supposed to do, right? And then if you don't do it, you get mad at yourself because you don't have enough willpower or whatever else. There's no part of you that's thinking of this as I have to learn how to become a thin, healthy person. Yeah, okay, I have a general idea what to do, and now I'm going to practice becoming that person. Oh, today wasn't so good. Let me learn from that. You never do that. Program yourself. Then we do. We got the redo rehearsal technique we use every night because you're going to fucking make mistakes. This idea that you're going to be perfect from Monday until you lose the weight is one of the goofiest ideas that I've ever seen in life. And again, I don't blame you for it because you've been conditioned to think that way constantly your entire life through diets. But it is the silliest thing in the world. This idea that you're going to start Monday, eat perfectly until you lose the weight. Like And I know what it is. I just read this book. It was so interesting. It was Your Future Self. And they do these brain scans of people and they have them think of their future self. And it turns out that we think about our future self as if it were a stranger. And that's why you're falling into this trap. You think like you're magically going to wake up some magical Monday and be a totally different version of yourself. You're not. You're not. And so, this is how you know when you're on the right path or not. Can you start a plan on a Friday? Because you don't want to start a plan on a Friday. Why? And this is the core. This is your whole problem right here. Because I know you're sitting here listening to me. Hey, I know you're an overthinker, and I know you're thinking about your weight loss 24 hours a day. You're constantly thinking about food, losing weight, how you want to lose weight, what's wrong with you, all the rest of it, right? But you're not doing anything to make it happen. You're in stuck mode, and it's not rocket science. Why though? Okay, it's because why do you not start a plan? Why are you not losing weight? Why are you not doing a plan? It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't have the willpower. It's because your plan fucking sucks. It sucks. Who wants to start on a Friday? Oh, I can't eat sugar today. Oh, it's the end of the week. I can't eat sugar. That's my plan. You don't want to do that. I got to eat 1,200 calories. I don't want to do that. No carbs Friday? No, I don't think so. Let me get worked up. Monday, I'll want to not eat carbs. But Friday, no. That's why I say like my plan, it's the only one. Because could you convince yourself that maybe you want to wake up tomorrow morning? You're going to wake up tomorrow morning anyways. Could you set aside 5 minutes to listen to a hypnosis session? Oh, I could do that. All right. Well, there we go. How about you start creating a plan a little bit at a time? You're so impatient, and the irony is this, that your impatience is what's keeping you from starting a plan. Because you're so impatient to get the results that the only thing you'll consider is these extreme plans. But the irony is, if you look at how much weight you've lost over the last 6 months, it's probably, you haven't lost anything. Why are you still in a fucking rush? It's been 6 months, a year, 10 years. I don't know how long. Why are you in a rush? You know what I mean? It's a literal trance. It makes no sense. If you haven't lost any weight in the 6 months and I give you a plan here where it says, okay, this is a 2 pound a month plan. Oh, that's too slow. That's not even worth it. Well, if you had started this 6 months ago where you haven't lost any weight, by the way, if you started 6 months ago, you'd be 12 pounds down. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking, I don't know how many, I come at this. This is why I do these podcasts. Because again, to me, this is a mission for me. Weight loss to me is life and death. My dad died at 54 of a heart attack. And, it's like it was the 84, it was a different time. I give him that, but he knew he had a heart issue and he couldn't stop. He just couldn't, you know what I mean? Like he couldn't change his behavior. So to me, it's like, this isn't just about looking good in a bathing suit on the beach. This is about you living as long as you can, having the best quality of life while you're here. And that's why I do this for free every day. Because it bums me out so bad. I don't want you to die early. And I don't want you to, I know you're sitting here constantly feeling like shit about yourself because you're not able to lose weight. And I know the real reason it's not happening is because you don't have a good strategy. You don't have any strategy. You've got a tactic. Everyone's got their one tactic. Oh, intermittent fasting is what I got to do. I got to do keto. If I'm going to lose weight, I got to do keto. Okay. Well, when's the last time you did it? 6 months ago. Well, why haven't you been doing it? Because I fucking hate it. Well, then what are you doing? Then why don't you come up with a different plan? Nah, I've been tired. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to be negative. I'm getting negative. I feel like I'm sounding negative here, but let me be positive for a second because I am here to help you genuinely. I do go to my bio, click the little picture of me on the top left there. Go to my bio, and there's a link I give you. Click that and go I give you a hypnosis session. It's called the New Thin Me. It's a weight loss kickstart session. If you've never experienced hypnosis, or even if you have, listen, even if you have, I went to the hypnotist, it didn't work. Yeah, I mean, I love my fellow hypnotists, but most hypnotists are kind of part-time. They don't know what they're doing. I've been doing this personally for 30 years, professionally for 20 years. I've done over 5,000 private weight loss sessions. I'm without question one of the highest paid hypnotists on the planet. And I'm giving this session for free. So go listen to it, test it out. It's about 10 minutes long. But more importantly, I give you a training after that. It's called the 3 Steps to Master Your Weight. And that training is about to be replaced. I got a new training coming out. It is going to knock your socks off. I love this training. It's not quite ready yet, but if you get on my email list, I will send it to you. I email you good stuff every day. I really am here to help you out. Yes, I have a program you can work with me, and I have a program you can invest in. But I'm also going to help you out for free as well. Okay. And you'll see constantly people give me comments, people losing all sorts of weight just listening to me. All right. So I'm here to help you out. I want you to know that. Nourishing is my favorite. I'm going to get through the questions here. So if you have questions, I'll get through quicker. Nourishing is my favorite word now. When I eat, I want to nourish my body with healthy food. Yeah, Karen. So Karen's on the program, right? And it's, again, why is it working for her? Because I'm influencing in helping her create a thin and healthy mindset. I'm helping her to think like a thin, healthy person, something you're never trying to do, and it's not rocket science. It's not difficult. It can be easy and it can be enjoyable. The difference between you right now struggling to lose weight and you being in complete control with the ability to live exactly at your goal weight on near autopilot comes down almost exclusively to how you're thinking about things. And you can change it quickly, all or something. There it is, Karen, right? What's up, Jamie? I agree with you. Thank you. Then what's your advice? You've said how not to think. I have. You're right. You're right, Anita. So how do you think? Okay. And I think that's the point. So again, if you're watching this, you're an overthinker. I know that because that's the only people that stay listening to me. I talk a lot and I'm an overthinker, and that's that. So here's the big problem you have. And I'm gonna do one more, not how to do it, but in service of how to think. So what you're doing, what you are spending almost all of your weight loss energy on is questions like, what's wrong with me? How come I can't stick to a plan? Why can't I lose weight? Why can't I eat right? Why do I keep eating cookies? Why do I keep an ice cream? Why don't I exercise? Why don't I do this? What's wrong with here? And this is called problem-oriented thinking. Okay. You are obsessed with the problem. Overthinkers are. So the overthinking is not the problem. Okay. The content of what you're thinking about is the problem. And you are constantly thinking about the problem. And I don't blame you, because you think deep down, you think you're gonna have some cognitive breakthrough. All of a sudden it's like change everything. Okay. It's not. Okay. Because your behavior doesn't come down to just what you know. So what you don't know, because you're not a hypnotist, is that constant focusing on the problem is literally programming you to keep doing that. Okay. So for example, if you ate a whole pint of ice cream last night and all day long, you're like, why the fuck did I eat the ice cream? Why did I eat that ice cream? Why do I keep eating the ice cream? Why do I keep doing that? What do you think you're imagining in your mind? Visually in your mind, you have a visual cortex, an auditory cortex, kinesthetic motor cortex, sensory cortex, how it feels. And each and every time you keep thinking about eating the ice cream at night last night, you're just reinforcing that. Your subconscious mind does not understand negatives, right? I tell you not to think, don't think about a banana. Don't think about a banana. Don't think about, yeah, right? And what are you thinking about? You're thinking about a banana. So as you're thinking, why do I eat that ice cream? Why do I do that? Why do I eat that ice cream? You're literally thinking about the ice cream. You're literally reinforcing those neural connections, that muscle memory to just do it all over again. Okay. So what is the alternative? Okay, Anita, good question. The alternative, and this is the magic. This is why I say being an overthinker is a problem. It's a curse and a solution all in one. When you're running the wrong programming, when you don't know how to use it right, it is very damaging because it just brings you down very quickly. It programs your mind very powerfully. When you start using it appropriately, it's very powerful in programming your mind correctly. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to focus on solutions. Now watch how these questions land, and they're going to sound amazing to you, but simultaneously you can realize I never asked those questions. Never, ever, never. And you don't have answers to them. Okay. So what's the alternative? How can I eat better? How can I make my weight loss easy and enjoyable? How can I have fun eating healthier foods? How can I set myself up for success so that the weight loss is easy, automatic, and natural? How can I enjoy, moving more? When you asking those questions, this isn't just semantics either, by the way. Okay. These are literal questions that bring you, even the questions themselves make you feel more hopeful and better. Now, again, I know you don't have any answers to them. You're feeling a sense of there's a vacuum there, right? I asked the question, you're like, I don't know. Notice that feeling out so different than you just ruminating on what's wrong with you and why do you keep doing this, right? That's so easy to do because you have those neural networks, those neural patterns and connections are strong because all you do is think about what's wrong with you and why you're not doing the right thing. If you take that energy and you start putting it to who you want to be, who's the best version? Who's the best Anita? What's the best version of me? How can I feel my best? What are the best relationships I can have? What's the best success I can have? What's important to you, right? What's the best level of health I can have? What's the best I can sleep? How can I feel the best I've ever felt in my life? You're never asking these questions. But if you start getting obsessed on these questions, what happens is not only do you come up with real strategies and answers to them, but each time you're asking, what's the best version of me? What's the happiest and healthiest version of me? That question alone starts to create a different subconscious imprint. And as you keep asking that question, you start to think of yourself differently. You start to create new neural connections, new muscle memories of that person that you want to be. And you're not doing this at all. So what's going to happen? You think you're just magically one day just going to wake up as this ideal version of you because it's a Monday and you want to lose weight? Like, why? It's like, you have to think of like the neural connections. It's physical. It's like building. It's not exactly like this, but it's like if you want to build muscle, right? You just got to go in and do the work. You got to do the work that builds the muscle. And it's the same thing with the mindset. In order to build those neural connections, in order to build the mental muscles of being thin and healthy, you've got to work them out. How are you working them out? Because even when you're on the diet, you're not working them out. How are you working them out? How are you developing a thin and healthy mindset if you think that's important? Again, I come back to, I think you've got an overweight mindset and I think you've got a diet mindset. And I think that is it. I don't think you even know what a thin and healthy mindset consists of or what it would be like at all. Do you think that's important to have that? Do you think it's important to think like a thin and healthy person to be at your goal weight? If not, what's going to happen? You're going to think like an overweight person. You're going to fight against that forever. Has that worked for you? And if it hasn't, why would it work for you in the future? What's going to be different? What's going to be different in terms of your weight and health if you don't create a thin and healthy mindset? That's a question for you. And I don't know what your answer is, but I don't see how you could change it. I've been changing my eating habits and what I eat for 2 years. I lost 50 pounds. Vivian, that's great. Now, if I could interview Vivian, and I've interviewed hundreds of people like Vivian who have successfully long-term, because you think about your weight loss in timeframes of days, weeks, and months. Vivian's over here thinking about her weight loss in terms of years, decades, forever. That's how people that master their weight think about things. They think completely different. So great job, Vivian. I'm always impressed. Again, I'll tell you another thing, take it or leave it. But for me, when I see, because this is literally every diet ad and pretty much how people mostly speak about weight loss. Oh, I did this and I lost 50 pounds. And it only took me 3 months. I don't give a shit. I'm not impressed by that. I mean, I am. Hey, great. You know what I mean? Great job. But I really am only concerned with, how long you kept it off for. That's all I care about. Weight mastery. Again, weight loss is about how fast can I lose the weight. And that's the game. The finish line is getting to the goal weight, right? For me, I'm obsessed with weight mastery, living at your goal weight. So to be honest, and again, I'm impressed. Listen, anyone that loses weight, I know it's hard. It's a challenge. You put a lot of effort and work in. So I applaud that. But, and again, so I'm not trying to sound rude here, but it's not enough, man. 95% of people lose weight and put it back on because they're losing weight in a way that's unsustainable. So when I start hearing people, I've been doing this for 2 years. Now I want to talk to them. What was going on for you? How did you do it? And what happens is you start to notice there's patterns here of how they go approach it and they think about it. And it's completely, I went through this. I was raised, everyone around me was overweight. The guy who taught me the most about diets was a 450-pound family friend. He's a comedian, great guy. 450 pounds in the last 20 years of his life, lived in a wheelchair. And this guy, every month, it was a different diet. It was always a different weight loss plan. This guy spent so much money on it. But he would sit me down. I'd listen to him. He'd tell, oh, this one does this. And this happens. Then this happens. And I eat here. And always a different thing, But he could never get himself to stick to anything consistently, And so it wasn't until I discovered neurolinguistic programming, which is really the science of modeling. It's kind of a hypnosis, subconsciously oriented concept. But it's really about find the person who got the results you want and figure out what they did, not just what they did externally, not just what they ate and how they exercise, what was going on in here. And again, a lot of these people originally I found from the why, and I found people that had lost weight and kept it off for 2 years, and I would talk to them. And you start to get into those patterns, and almost instantaneously, you realize their approach to it was completely different than anything I'd heard in my life. And their approach was much more long-term. It was, they were much more able to, what I realized, they weren't trying to be perfect. They had some space, some buffers, in place to when they made mistakes. It wasn't catastrophic. There were just so many mindset pieces that I learned from them. And that really became the core and the basis for Program Yourself Thin and my own success of dropping 50 pounds, which again, great, but I kept it off for 30 years. I've kept it off for 30 years, folks. I had one little blip 12 years ago. 30 years, no diets. I don't work out. I haven't gone to a gym. I haven't worked out consistently. I've done a little bit. I'll do a month and a half here. I'll get into something, but I've not done anything consistently. I do yoga, but it's the most gentle yoga in the world. I have not done any like cardio, hard workout stuff in 30 years. How do I master my weight? I've mastered my eating. I master my lifestyle. I master my mindset. Yeah. Yep. My whole life is wrapped around self-care and doing what is healthy for me. Yeah, that's Vivian. I hope you folks are all listening. Do you hear that? Vivian and I've never met Vivian in my life. Vivian and I think exactly the same. My whole life's wrapped around self-care too. That's why I teach. I can't wait for you all to get the weight loss pyramid. Or the weight mastery pyramid. I'm so excited. I really love this thing. It frames things in I think in a compelling way. But here's the thing, right? When you want to lose weight, what do? You try and change your eating, and you try and change your eating through willpower. That's about it. Now, Vivian over here knows what I know as well, that you need a lifestyle change. You need to create, because, when you just try and change your eating with willpower, you're not, I always call this like your approach is a top-down approach. You're trying to use willpower to change how you're eating. You're paying no attention to all the bottom-up factors that your lifestyle creates. So you're probably not getting enough sleep. You're probably dehydrated to some degree. You're probably stressed out. You're probably not nourishing your body. You're probably not moving enough. You're probably not meditating at all. You're probably not grateful. And all of these things bottom up cause you to be hungry all the time. Your moods are all over the place. Your energy levels are all over the place. Your cravings are for unhealthy foods. You have no ability to say no to them. And so you don't realize it, but you're making this whole process way harder than it needs to be. You're way better off putting that willpower into creating a healthier lifestyle than you are just trying to change your eating alone. So again, and program yourself then, and you just heard what I said, because here's another buzzword. Again, I'm telling you, you hear the two big buzzwords you'll hear with enlightened dieters is I need a mindset change. I need a lifestyle shift. Well, what fucking lifestyle shift? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's just a buzzword. I'll tell you what I mean. Here you go. Write it down if you want. And I bet Vivian focused on these things. I've been at the same weight for 30 years. So it's like, I can't get excited about the weight loss going on. So what do I focus on? Because we all need something to look forward to. Once the weight stops going down, what do you got to look forward to? Food. So what I'm looking forward to is I keep tweaking my lifestyle. I love it. So what do I mean by lifestyle? You're sleeping, getting proper sleep. And I put these in order of importance, in my opinion. Proper sleep, proper hydration, relaxation, proper breathing, nourishment, movement, meditation, gratitude. Don't you think if you had these things in your life that it'd be much easier to control your weight? So, yeah. Yeah. But I never met Vivian before. But again, I know everything she's saying is right in line with Program Yourself Then, because Program Yourself was created by studying people that have gotten the results that you want. You're studying people that have not gotten the results you want, because you think those are the results you want because you're being tricked into thinking, I want short-term results. I just want to lose the weight. I just want to lose the weight. No, you don't. Especially if you're watching this and you've been trying to lose weight for a long time, I bet that you have lost weight and then put it back on multiple times. Please realize that you need to start focusing on living at your goal weight, not just losing weight. She says, hey, just randomly found your live. Think I found you like 2 weeks ago and my life has already changed. I didn't have much, if any, weight to lose, but horrible mentality and binging at night. Yeah, it's great, Ashley. And since seeing your content and signing up for the emails, I feel so much better and even slimmed down. Well, that's a good one. All right, screenshots. I always love my little, I got so many of these, I'm not trying to be conceited here, folks, but again, I'm telling you, like, I got a different take on this, and it's, I don't want to sound like a delusions of grandeur, right? But when it comes to weight loss, you tell me if not every single thing you've ever tried is basically someone telling you what to do. And then you try and get yourself to do it with willpower. Who has ever helped you to actually get yourself to do the thing you want to do? This is the problem you have. This is your blind spot. And it's a huge one. And again, I tell you, I help you for free. I've got my business model is the Robin Hood model. Okay. People that want to invest, listen, it's 25 grand to work with me privately. Okay. I know most people can't do that. I understand that, but I have a group coaching program. It's $1,000. Okay. You work with me for 8 weeks. I work with you twice a week on Zoom personally. It's the most valuable money you ever spend with your weight. And then I have a version of the program that doesn't include coaching. It's $300. where you get 8 weeks. Every single day you get hypnosis sessions. You bookend your day. You get a complete weight mastery workbook that I take you through with lessons for each single thing. I take through every question in the thing. So you create your own weight mastery blueprints based on you, your preferences, your lifestyle, and there's all these bonuses with it. But the point being, and then I give everything away for free too. I get on here and tell you whatever. You can ask me questions. I'll answer them to you. And every answer I give you will pretty much, I mean, not every answer, but most of the answers are going to be completely out of left field to you. Like you never would have thought of these things. It ain't rocket science. I'm not a genius. It's just that I've stayed focused on what I do that's different than most people. And this was really brought home. A couple of years ago, I did an interview series called The Elite Body with the top trainers and nutritionists on the planet online, big names, and it really brought home like what I do that's different than literally 99% of people in the weight loss industry. And it's not delusions of grandeur, because I'm going to tell you why. I think literally everyone is just telling you what to do. And there was one guy, Craig Ballantyne, right? He came up with Turbulence Training. And so I'm talking to him and I go, well, what do you do? What do you do when you get a client who's not motivated? He goes, what do you mean? And I was like, well, when they're not motivated, what do you do to kind of get them fired up? And what's your tricks and stuff? He goes, what are you talking about? I was like confused. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, when they're not motivated, what'd you do? How do you get them motivated? He's like, I don't know. He's like, when they come to me, they're motivated. I was like, what? Shit, you're right. What am I doing? Because I'm helping people. Like, I'm helping people when they're not motivated. And I always tell them that, like when they sign up to work with me, I say, listen, you're investing money here. I go, you got to understand, the most value I'm going to offer you is not when you're just killing it and thriving and everything's going great. It's when you feel like shit. That's when I'm going to give you the most value. I'm going to help you get back on track. I'm going to show you how we did it, but it made me realize, oh my God, that's right. Personal trainers, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, whoever else would help you with weight loss, they're just telling you what to do. And then it's left up to you to get yourself to do it. And so here you are cycling through plan after plan after plan after plan after plan after plan. But there's one thing that never changes. There's one thing that remains a constant in all those plans. Guess what it is? It's you. It's you, and you never focus on that, So you got to stop focusing on information. You have to start focusing on transformation. You have to have this, again, what Program Yourself then is an inside out approach to change, and I think you find that that's the big difference. What if you keep procrastinating action to change? Yeah, Carl, that's a great question too. I'll tell you what I do. I tell my people, reduce to the ridiculous. A lot of times procrastination happens. See, there's two sides to that. There's the amount of willpower you can bring to the process, but there's also what you're expecting to do, right? So if we take a typical diet, let's take it. I work. Okay. So my program was like this yesterday. She used to be an athlete. 10 years. She has done no workouts, nothing physical. And now she's like, I want to start working out again. I'm going to set a real low bar for myself. I'm going to do 20 minutes every day. Okay. Well, 20 minutes seems a lot less than what she used to when she was an active athlete, but 20 minutes now after 10 years of doing nothing, putting a lot of weight on, that's a lot. That's a big commitment. Right. And so she did the first week. She's fired up. I did it. And then it fell away. What happened, Jim? I don't know what happened to my consistency. Well, how about this? How about you're giving yourself one option? And this is what we all do, right? It was, this plan, that's the plan. That's what I got to do. No, it's not. Because I said like, well, what if you did less? If it's less, it's not worth it. Okay. So you're telling me that it's either 20 minutes or it's nothing. It's not worth it. And for the last week now, you've done nothing. What if you did 5 minutes? Because what if you could think past a week? What if you could think past a month? What if you did 5 minutes for a month? And you could do it because you didn't want to procrastinate because it wasn't overwhelming to you. This is why you're not starting any plan. You know the plan you want to start. Why don't you want to start it? Because you don't want to do it. It's too much. It feels like an endurance test, right? And so you don't want to do it. It's too much. It's too hard. It's too much of an overcorrection. It's overwhelming to you. And so you avoid it. And so you think the only answer is to get yourself super hyped up. No, the other answer is to lower down what you're expecting out of yourself. This is why I say to you, God, imagine it. I can't think of a fucking goofier approach to weight loss than tomorrow's Monday. I'm going to completely change all of my eating starting tomorrow for the next 6 months. That's how long it's going to take me to lose the weight. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes. What are you going to do then? I'm not going to make any mistakes. What if you do? I'm not gonna. Well, what if you just focus on your worst eating habit? Let's just start small. How about your worst eating habit, right? How about we get a handle on that first? Can we just break this down a little bit? You're trying to fix, again, what they don't say it's all or nothing for nothing. It's all, literally all. No more carbs. Come on. And that makes me crazy because no more carbs sounds so simple, but the flip side of that coin is completely changing how I eat. You know what I mean? That sounds a little harder and it's a little more accurate for what you're trying to do. You think you're going to completely change how you eat starting tomorrow perfectly till for the next 6 months till you lose the weight? So yeah, so if you keep procrastinating again, I mean, there's other ways about approaching it too, but the biggest one I see is lower down what you're expecting of yourself. You know, the action to change. You probably like, I'll change everything starting tomorrow, and it's overwhelming, so you avoid it. You know, so change that. Never thought I'd say I'm literally indifferent towards food and so happy. Thank you. You're welcome, Ashley. Yeah. Have you ever, folks? Have you ever worked on feeling indifferent to food? No, no. It's a lot easier. You know, you're just like, again, you just think this magical willpower is gonna be there to do it. Do you do one-to-one coaching? I need help with my mindset. I do. Again, I mean, and I understand this. Don't get offended. Some people get mad when it's. I know 25 grand is a lot of money. I understand that money's relative, and my time is what it is. So that's what I do for one-on-one stuff. But again, this is why everything's relative as well. So it's like you get to work with me, and this isn't going to be around for long. You know, it's like your ability to work with me in a group, which is still one-on-one. I keep the group small so I can work with you. It's $1,000 for 8 weeks. You can work with me twice a week. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. we have live Zoom calls, you know, and then and then you also get the whole program, lifetime access to it. I keep tweaking it and improving. You get lifetime access to all that, you know. So that's the suggestion I would go. And so, but even before that, because I don't even want you doing that unless it's the right plan for you. And so do the free stuff first. Click on a little picture of me up in the top left. Go to my bio, click the link that gives you the hypnosis session. I give you a free hypnosis session, the new thin me. Help you clarify and connect to your goal body. You'll feel motivation in a way you've never felt before. And then, more importantly, you get access to this training, 3 Steps to Master Your Weight. It's about 30 minutes. Watch it. If you have any real desire to lose weight, you know, if you're sick of spinning your wheels with diets, you know, it's all free. And then at the end of that, I talk about my program. And if it's a good fit, you should sign up, you know. How do you stay at goal weight without losing more or gaining? Yeah, it's a great question. And you figure it out. You know what I mean? Like it's trial and error. It's experimentation. It's mastery. How do you master anything? You know, you don't master shit by just like, oh, here's the plan. I just do it. That's not mastery. Mastery is you try things out, that didn't work. You tweak and you optimize. Right. So again, oh man, you get on that list, go get that hypnosis session. The weight mastery pyramid. I was giddy about it. I'm excited. Because I break it down. I'm gonna just tell you all of it, you know. But here's the eating thing, right? Is that, yeah, how do you figure out what's the right amount? Well, trial and error. You know what I mean? But you have to structure your eating. And I always say, program yourself. Then the core philosophy is that there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. The one exception to that is that I believe you have got to structure your eating. You can't just like randomly think you're just going to eat well and not have some structure to how you eat. And with Program Yourself, then we follow a 5-2 model. You already know that, Karen. But it's really dialing that in, and it's stabilizing it and getting it consistent, and then realizing, okay, I consistently kind of eat this way for the last 3 weeks, last 6 weeks. Where's my weight at? Oh, it's a little higher than I want it to be. Okay, let me look at my structured eating and let me strategically choose where's the easiest place for me to cut some calories out. Oh, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to live with that for 3-4 weeks and see what happens. Oh, the weight kind of went down. Oh, I'm right where I want to be. Great. Now I stabilize it and I optimize it to make it easier and easier and easier for me, you know, but it's trial and error. So that takes too long. I just want fast results. Well, how long you want to keep the weight off for, folks? I mean, because what are you going to do? Do you ever really internalize that concept of what are you going to do? You're never going to eat a carb again. You goddamn carnivore. You're never going to eat a fruit or vegetable again. You're only going to eat meat organs for the rest of your life. Really? You're going to eat 1,200 calories for the rest of your life? And count points? God, what a nightmare, you know? The diets. These diets kill me. I can tell you that. Oh, here we go. Vivian, once again, dropping the bombs, right? I started with small things like smaller portions, chewing food slower, eating more healthy foods. It's right there. But this is why I try to tell you the mindset. You're wired. The diets have wired you backwards, you know? So it's like, you can only think about fast weight loss. If it's not fast, you're not motivated or interested, you know? But the real answer is Vivian's telling you She's telling you, she started, oh no, not the word. No, don't say you started slowly. God forbid you start slowly, right? There's a great saying. I always say this, but people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. Here's Vivian, 50 pounds down over 2 years, and she's in a slow, systematic way. So it's not overwhelming. She's developed the neural connections, the muscle memory, the habits, the behaviors, so that it's automatic and natural for her now. And that's what I teach in the program. And it's not rocket science. I'll tell you what makes me nuts. It's a lot of times I'll see it on my videos. Someone will be like, oh, I lost 40 pounds or whatever. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? And it's like, you've been so conditioned to look for the quick fix, and it's, again, I'm telling you, that's the paradox of weight loss, is that you're so obsessed with the quick fix that you are, okay, let me back it up and let me put it a different way. What's fast weight loss? Is fast weight loss losing 20 pounds in a month with an unsustainable diet that you can't keep up and then you put all the weight back on? Is that fast weight loss or no weight loss? As opposed to losing 5 pounds a month in a comfortable and sustainable way. Is that slow weight loss or is that fast weight loss? How much weight you lost in the last 6 months, year? You might want to recalibrate how you think about fast and slow. Maybe losing a lot of weight in the next month is actually slow weight loss. That's weird. I don't know. Yeah, those are all things that I include in my life. Yeah, that makes sense. Kat Parker says, I keep blaming everything on menopause, even though I know it's not true. Hey, listen, Kat, though, but it's a real thing, though. You know what I mean? And I always tell, and listen, my whole career is based on helping women in some stage of menopause lose weight. So sometimes I'll make videos about menopause and I get all the hate. Say, you don't look like a woman to me. You go through menopause first. I get it. I understand that. But literally, that's been 90% of the women I've worked with, 90% of my clients are women, and they're usually between somewhere in the ages of 45 to 55, 60. And so what do you do? What do you do when you have, menopausal issues, hormonal issues, thyroid issues, PCOS, Hashimoto's, insulin resistance, right? They're real physical realities, right? They're real. And what do you do though? And in my opinion, now I think this for everyone, but I think especially a person in a situation like that, where there is a real physical thing going on, is you have got to double down on the lifestyle piece, right? Because what is menopause, insulin resistance, what are all these things doing, right? They're changing your biochemistry, your hormones, there are all these biochemical, physical effects that are happening, right? Okay, fair enough. But how can we influence our physiology, our biochemistry, our hormones in a positive way? Do you think that getting the proper amount of sleep, hydration, relaxing more, breathing properly, nourishing your body with nutrient dense foods and varieties of nutrients, moving more, meditating, quieting that mind down and feeling more grateful? Do you not think that those things will influence and impact your hormones, your biochemistry, your physiology in positive ways? I mean, literally, there's a great book, Why We Sleep, and they're doing amazing things with sleep research. But even sleeping, the amount of sleep you get impacts your insulin resistance. So, you know what I mean? Like, again, we need a holistic approach to this. And I think everyone does, but especially menopause, hormone, those physical issues. I think they're real. And I think you need to have a real holistic strategy to deal with them. And I think what you do most of the time, that's going to be a huge piece of you getting the results you're looking for. Vivian says, I'm 71 and want to live as long as healthy as possible. That's why I changed my lifestyle. Vivian, you helped me have the change of outlook towards diet change several months ago. Well, I'm very happy. You make me happy because I say this stuff every day. And, it's, some people take it in and some people don't, even to the point, I'm going to say it again, because I sit here, what they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I don't know what more I could do to get you on the right path. What if the path I'm saying is really easy and enjoyable and amazingly effective? What if you could live the rest of your life at your goal weight easily and comfortably, almost on autopilot? Like, is that appealing to you? Right? And if it is, what if all you had to do to get started on that path is to click my little face up on the top left there, click a link, fill out a form that takes you about 30 seconds. So there's 5 questions. I can customize the session for you. And then that's it. You listen to the session, you sit there. Is it hard to like sit there, you close your eyes and relax? I guide you through it. You'll feel more relaxed than you have probably in your whole life. Literally. I mean that literally, you know? You'll get all this positive stuff that you'll hear. When's the last time you heard some positive stuff about your weight, your health? When? Where are you hearing that positive stuff? I'm not talking about the bullshit. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about relax. You can do this. You're smart. You're successful. When you relax and calm down and connect to that feeling inside you, you want to be healthy. Let's listen to that voice. Let's listen to that voice. You can easily and comfortably and enjoyably make healthy food choices. All you gotta do is relax, calm down. You want to be healthy. You want to be happy. You want to be able to move for the rest of your life comfortably. You want to have your mobility, your independence, your freedom. You want to look good. You want to feel good. You want to be the best version of yourself. You want to be happy with yourself. You want to let go of all the bullshit with the food and the stress and the frustration. You want to start walking this path where each and every day it just gets easier and more enjoyable and more fun. And the results get better each and every day. And you look back and say, holy shit, look what I did. Oh my God, look at me. I did it. This is fun. I really like this. I feel good. Each and every day is just more enjoyable than the next. When you hearing that message, is this the first time you've ever heard that message ever in your entire life? I don't know. But all you have to do is click that little link and then you can hear that message. And I give you the training that's used to charge for it. It used to be $97. Just giving it to you. And then I email you stuff every day. So it's like, even if you don't listen to the session, even if you don't watch the training, you won't have to remember because you'll get a message from me tomorrow. You get a message from me on Monday. I take Sundays off, and they're positive, encouraging stuff, things you're never thinking about. But, 10% of people do it. I don't know, 30, 40 people watching this, it'd be like 5 people do it, I don't know. But great job, Vivian. You're the best. You really are just killing it. And everything you're saying it's perfect. Right in line with what I'm saying. An eye opener, thanks. Yeah, Carla. It is an eye opener, isn't it? How large is the group? Group's small. I keep it. It's funny. I'll tell you a little secret. Even people that invest a lot of money sometimes don't show up, But anyways, the group is I don't know. I'll stay there. I'll work with everyone. And when you first get in, when you're first starting out, I spend extra time with you anyways. But it just depends. Week to week, there could be. Yesterday there was 5 people on the call. Sometimes there's 10 people. Sometimes 15, but that's kind of rare. I'd say on average 5 to 10 people get on these calls, at a time. So yeah, it's the deal. It's really the deal of the century, because to be able to work with me, like, you're just not going to be able to soon. You know what I mean? Like this, again, I was kind of like, I'm working on something. I kind of took the summer off a little bit, but I get back in and it's like, even with this weight mastery pyramid, I start advertising, promoting. The group's going to go up to $2,000. I keep it at 1,000 right now, just because it's like, I'm not really even promoting it. So it's there if you want to do it. But it'll go up to $2,000. And then eventually, I start advertising, they'll have like a wait list, but yeah, so go check it out. Great afternoon. He says, I wanted to lose 50 pounds. Yeah, no, now I'm being more realistic, long-term, smaller steps. Yeah. Crafty Granny. Exactly. That's the crazy part, that, even like what goal weight you think you want, it's just this arbitrary number a lot of times, so even giving your goal weight more meaning is a powerful part of the process. Great job, Crafty. Again, that's an enlightened thought of there. How do I find the balance between not starving and not binging while including every food group? Yeah, well, I think you answered your own question within the question. I think what you want to do is, see, this is why I'm not a big fan. I like to think in phases, right? So again, you start your weight loss plan, you just want to start cutting calories down. But I would suggest that you start in a more strategic way. I'm going to guess right now you're exhausted, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed. And, to start a diet plan in that state, what are the chances of success going to be, right? You got nothing left for it. You know what I mean? You're at your wits end, you're up to here. So the first thing I want to do is, yes, we'll work on your weight by focusing on your worst eating habit. So we'll go right to work on that. But then I want you to focus more on the lifestyle pieces, getting some more sleep, starting to drink some more water. And again, I don't want those 8 habits to feel overwhelming because in the program, everything I do is about being practical because everything I do is built in helping real people living real lives get results. I'm not about the perfect thing. That drives me nuts. I could easily put a diet program together that just tells you what I eat and how I live. And you would want it, you'd buy it, but it wouldn't even help you because you need to have knowing what to do is not enough. You need to have strategy to be able to how to do it. So yeah, that's the secret, I think, is starting off with a strategy that starts to give you more energy, more clarity, more focus, reduces your cravings, balances your moods, gives you more, clarity of thought, more energy to do the right things. That's the approach I think makes more sense. But then when you want to start focusing on the eating, really to not starve. So I don't want to give you the quick answer. It's too late for that. I know, but it's really understanding calorie density. And so understanding calorie density is really the golden path, I think, of mastering your weight, because what a lot of people are doing subconsciously, they think they have to starve themselves to lose weight. And that's completely wrong. So you want to figure out what foods can I eat that have low calories in them, but fill me up. Because what fills you up is not the calories, it's the volume of food. And so as you start creating a diet of less calorie dense foods, you feel more full and you start losing weight because your calories go down. So that's really the secret there. That makes that work. The fruits and veggies, not the parrots. I've been in calorie deficit and exercising 4 days a week, but weight not budged in a month. Help. Yeah, calorie deficit and exercising 4 days a week. Sometimes you're not going to hear what I say. I know it's frustrating. It can be frustrating when you do that, but sometimes people try too hard to lose weight. I know that sounds weird too, but yeah, I mean, what I look at, okay, when we hit plateaus, and sometimes it's beginning, sometimes it's in the middle, but anytime you hit a plateau where the weight's not budging, I like to use that as an opportunity to practice maintenance because that's the real goal here. The goal is not to lose weight. The goal is to live at your goal weight. And so when you hit a plateau where the weight's not coming off, what I like to do is practice maintenance. So how do I practice maintenance? Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep myself in a calorie deficit. I'll keep exercising, but I'm going to optimize how I'm keeping myself a calorie deficit, how I'm exercising, meaning, again, understanding calorie density is a huge part of making that happen. So how can I keep myself in a calorie density and feel more satisfied? How can I make it easier, more enjoyable to be in a calorie deficit? The exercising, how can I make that easier, more enjoyable, and more ingrained so I just naturally do it? Because what a lot of people do is they're struggling. They're really putting the screws themselves to keep themselves in calorie deficit. They're really struggling to keep themselves exercising, and they don't want to do it. Well, if you don't want to do it, you've got to focus on the process there, because again, eventually you're going to get to where you get to your goal weight. And if you hate the process, you're not going to stick with it. So when you hit these plateaus, it's an opportunity. Let me focus on the process and make it more enjoyable and comfortable for myself. Okay. Hope that helps. I look forward to coming home from work and eating fruit. Mind blown. And it's been 2 months every day. Yeah, of course, Karen, right? Again, Karen's on the program and she's got a whole different approach. It is difficult. Yes. Other things make me happy, usually brings me back to a better decision. Yeah, exactly, Jessica. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. And I didn't get into this too much, but so much of Program Yourself is an inside out approach to weight mastery. And one piece of that is really appreciating and being able to influence and manage the state that you're in. And this gets almost to the emotional eating. You're emotional eating is a good example of this. Okay. Is that you may be eating to, maybe you're bored. And so you're eating when you're bored. That's something you do. And so people say, how do I stop boredom eating? Well, you don't stop boredom eating. Okay. Because that eating is doing something positive for you. It's giving you entertainment, stimulation, something to focus on and make you not bored. Okay. So we don't want to stop emotional eating. We want to find better ways to entertain yourself. Hope that makes sense. But so this is, again, it's a preventative approach to weight mastery. And so a lot of the reasons you're eating the wrong foods and doing the wrong stuff is because the food is like, it's helping you out because you feel like shit. Let me frame it a different way. Is emotionally, we've been conditioned to use food as our main emotional management strategy, And so the truth is you probably don't have any good strategies for how to feel the emotions you want and how to deal with the emotions you don't want to feel. You probably got food is probably your main thing. And so again, that's a big part of the program too. So the better you feel just genuinely, naturally, the better you just kind of naturally make better food decisions, of course. All right, everyone, I got to get out of here. I was only going to be in here for 20 minutes, but you guys were awesome today. Yeah, this was really good. I love doing these lives, and you all were super awesome. Again, I'll give you one more shot here. Go click the little face up in the left-hand, my little face up there in that left-hand corner. And then go to my bio, click the link in the bio. It's a free hypnosis session. It's a really good hypnosis session. It's called The New Thin Me. It's a kickstart session. What you're going to do if you listen to it, it's about 10 minutes. You're going to relax, you're going to calm down, and you're going to clarify and connect to the goal that you have. And it's going to motivate you. You're going to find that you naturally make better food choices for the next couple of days if you just listen to it once. Okay. And that's going to be helpful, obviously, right? But more importantly than that is I also give you the 3 steps to master your weight. Watch that training. It's a half hour. Okay. And then I email you every day. So go do that. All right. It's your little action for today. Don't do anything else, and that'll be your weight loss action for the week. All right. Hey, all right. my Friday get up. I listen to you while taking an hour-long walk. So thanks. Yeah, Nia, that's perfect. Right. Yeah. Again. And that reminds me too, the podcast is Program Yourself Thin. It's on all the podcast platforms. Listen to that. Okay. The more you get my voice in your head, the more weight you're going to lose and the easier it's going to be. Guaranteed. Okay. I'm not just talking to you here, folks. I'm using a little conversational hypnosis to help influence the way that you think, to program your subconscious mind in a helpful and beneficial way. So the more you listen to me, the better you're going to, better results you're going to get. And then obviously if you want the best results possible, little plug, get in the program. When you get to work with me directly and you get this actual program, is a very powerful program. Without question, it's the number one hypnosis program you will ever see. Okay. But check it out. I'd love to work with you. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks, Crafty Grammy. I appreciate you saying that. So I'll see you soon. Have a great day. And thank you very much. Bye.